Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live. So if you are joining us from Facebook and you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down below. We also stream to our YouTube Live page now as well, and I think you can also go in there and leave a comment if you're watching from there. But let's get started. What are we looking at for our headlines for the next several days? Well, for the rest of the night, we're going to stay quiet out there. We've got those higher level cirrus clouds streaming on in, so that'll bring us some filtered moonlight overnight tonight. The clouds will thicken up a little bit though, and that could linger into Sunday morning. So waking up tomorrow morning, it may look a little bit grayer out there, but then as we get into the afternoon, we'll start to see those clouds dissipate a little bit more, and we'll see a return of mostly sunny skies through Sunday afternoon before they increase once again as we get into Sunday night, followed by the chance for some showers. So I'll get into that in just a moment. And then shower and storm chances continue as we go through next week. A little bit more of an active weather pattern sort of aligning itself through the Ohio River Valley. But here's a look at our high temperatures for today. We got warm, but still slightly below average. We only topped out in the lower 70s. Our average highs are typically in the mid to upper 70s for this time of year. But check it out. To our northwest, which is counterintuitive, usually when you go farther north, gets a little bit cooler, but up towards Des Moines, Iowa, you reached into the mid 80s today, and some folks up towards North Dakota and South Dakota touched the 90s as well. So anomalous warmth to our west. More seasonable temperatures here in the tri-state, but we will continue to see that warm air push up out of the south as we get into tomorrow and as we go through next week. We ourselves are going to be topping out in the 80s here pretty soon. But here's a look at our current temperatures. We've cooled down a good bit since this afternoon. We've dropped down into the 60s now, and we'll continue to drop down into the lower 50s overnight tonight. Now here's a look at our satellite and radar. Currently, we've got this high pressure system anchored just to our north now over the Great Lakes. That slid into place yesterday, and that brought us a beautiful day for our Friday. This high is kind of squishing this low and keeping it to the south, at least through tomorrow. And then as it moves off to the east towards Monday, this low will lift up out of the south, and that's why we'll start to see some showers work their way into the forecast beginning tomorrow night. But the daytime hours will be just fine. Here's a closer look at that radar. We're not seeing any action here now other than a few clouds streaming in from the south. Precipitation for the month still running above average for this time of year, and also running above average for the year as a whole, over 5 inches above where we should be. And looking at temperature so far for the month of May, we are starting to tip the scales a little bit. We had a little bit of a cooler start to the month. We had a few 70-degree days through the first week, and then we just dropped into the 60s and 50s. That was all last weekend, and then we started to climb back out of the 50s this past week. So all these warmer temperatures, still slightly below average, but a little bit warmer, will start to tip the scales on our average temperature for the month, which right now is actually a few degrees below average. But I think with these 80-degree days we have coming up this week, that'll start to get flushed out. Now, in terms of precipitation, it has been a very wet month so far. Almost every day had some sort of measurable precipitation outside of just 3 days. But yeah, very wet month. We had all those days of rain just last week and into last weekend. If you remember, we had that cutoff low that kept things pretty active. So here's a look at our next 12 hours. Staying quiet. We do have some partly to mostly cloudy skies streaming in overnight, but again, they're the higher level clouds, so they're still wispy and a little bit thin, and they'll linger through tomorrow morning. So waking up may not look as bright and sunny, but it will get there as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. But here's a look at that day part forecast for Mother's Day. Waking up mostly cloudy, becoming partly cloudy to mostly sunny in the afternoon, and then those clouds fill back in as we get into the overnight hours, primarily after the sun sets. But check out those highs, topping out in the upper 70s to possibly right around 80 degrees for some locations as we get into the second half of the weekend. So I'd say it's a great day to get out and celebrate anything outdoors for Mom. So here's a look at our future radar here, tracking out the cloud cover overnight tonight. thickens up, and then it still lingers here through the morning hours. But as we get into the afternoon, you'll notice it breaks up a little bit. We start to see mostly sunny skies take over through the afternoon. And then as we get into the nighttime, that's when we'll start to see those clouds increase from the south once again. And then shortly behind that, we've got some shower and thunderstorm chances streaming in overnight as well. And they'll continue on and off through the beginning of the work week, Monday and into Tuesday. And then the Climate Prediction Center also picking up on a little bit more of a wetter pattern here as we go through the middle of our month. And that's definitely highlighted here if we look at our storm chances. Greatest are going to be Monday and Tuesday, but we still got the chance for some pop-up showers and storms through the middle and end of next week. And there's also the potential for at least some severe weather as we get towards Thursday specifically. Now, Storm Prediction Center has us outlined here for some severe weather, that level 2 risk. This is for Thursday, but if we take a look at the models, you'll see why there's a little bit of a discrepancy with this and why I haven't really gone full in on a first alert for Thursday. But the ingredients do exist. It's just if we can get some forcing farther south, that will initiate some of those thunderstorms for Thursday. However, right now the models want to keep a lot of that forcing just to the north of the tri-state. So I'll show you what that looks like here on the European model, but we'll start off on Monday here. This isn't severe worries. This is just your scattered shower and thunderstorm activity with that low lifting up from the south, and then that low will continue to move off to the east, continuing to bring us some pop-up shower and storm chances Tuesday and Wednesday. Then as we get into Thursday, we've got this low building to our west, and as it lifts off to our north, this warm front will lift there as well, and that's going to kind of initiate the shower and thunderstorm chances that we're seeing just to our north. So this model wants to keep the tri-state dry, but folks to the north of us, up towards Terre Haute and north of there, have better chances for those thunderstorms, which could be on the severe side. But we'll just have to wait a few more days here to see how these models want to play it out. But there is the potential for some severe weather. I'm just not quite seeing it on the models yet in terms of reflectivity. However, I can obviously see that there are ingredients there that may produce some severe thunderstorms. So as of right now, I don't have any first alerts because the rain chances are just so low. But if we start to see them creeping up again, then I'll put that first alert for Thursday. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on Thursday, but outside of that, Monday and Tuesday should just have some ordinary thunderstorms. But outside of precipitation, temperature continuing to trend upward will still remain above average through the middle of the month as well. So our average high in the mid-70s right now. We will be topping out above that as we get into tomorrow, right around average for Monday and Tuesday, and then climbing up into the 80s starting Wednesday. Lower 80s, 82 degrees Wednesday, 87 by the time we get into Thursday. And there are even some models that are putting out temperatures closer to 90 for Thursday. So definitely going to be a hot and steamy day. It's going to feel like summer even though it's only spring. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. I'll take this full screen so you guys can get a better look at it. But tomorrow, Mother's Day, it's going to be a good day. We'll see some sunshine out there, especially through the afternoon. It'll stay dry, temperatures in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. And then showers start to work back into the forecast Sunday night, continuing through Monday and Tuesday. And then the chance for a few pop-up afternoon showers and storms exists there for Wednesday and Thursday. But really the bigger story as we get towards the middle and end of next week is going to be that warm-up with temperatures topping out in the 80s. So well above average for this time of year. But let's go ahead. I'll check out some of the comments for you guys, see if I can answer any questions. It looks like we've got Deborah from Beaver Dam, Kentucky here. She's watching. Good evening to you, Deborah. Ashlyn says good evening. She wants to go back to winter. I agree. You know, the thunderstorms are getting a little old, isn't it? Thomas says he's tired of rain. And then the 14 First Alert app says that there is no rain. I'm assuming that you're talking about for Thursday, and that's because I put it there that way, just because the models aren't really showing rain. However, that could change. So we'll be keeping a good eye on it here over the next couple of days. But that's all I've got for the 14 First Alert weather show. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe. Have a great rest of your night, and shout out to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day.